Good evening and welcome to the City of Farmers Branch Planning and Zoning Study Session meeting. It is presently 6:30 p.m. Monday, August 11th, 2025. I'd like to begin by thanking the commissioners for their service. On our study session agenda, up first is item A1, discuss regular agenda items, which takes us to item C1, consider approval of the July 7th, 2025 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting minutes and take appropriate action. Commissioners, any errors, typos, omissions, corrections? All right, we'll move right along. Next will be a public hearing, item D1. Conduct a public hearing and consider the request to amend Article 5 Special Districts of the Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance by amending Article 5.6 Alcoholic Beverage on-premise overlay districts to add the Spring Valley Alcoholic Beverage on-premise overlay district, an approximately 7.96 acre property located at 4801 Spring Valley Road and located within PD 27 zoning district, and take appropriate action. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Commissioners. Let me know if you have any questions that you'd like me to answer right now, or we can wait until my presentation during the regular meeting. I feel this is a fairly straightforward request. The applicant is just looking to add this property to the alcoholic beverage on-premise overlay district.
Thanks, Brian. Questions?
Yeah, I guess really the only question I have is that so this is ostensibly for the pickleball court or the
That's correct.
business. But the district seems to be much larger than that. It's two very large buildings, 7 acres. There are a whole lot of vacant spaces. There are a lot of other businesses. I'm just curious as to the thinking as to why it's so large. Why are we encompassing large buildings that have really, they're just sort of office buildings and retail?
That's a very good question, and I did discuss this with my colleagues in the planning department. We felt it made the most sense, instead of making the overlay district specific to that suite, that we would do it too. Both of those properties are zoned as 4801 Spring Valley Road, so we thought it made the most sense to go ahead and add the entirety of both of those properties to that district, in case we had future tenants in that building that wanted the ability to serve alcohol.
And that would be I guess that would be the downside of doing it, right? Then don't we then lose control? Because it's already in the overlay district. So whoever comes in, we don't have the opportunity to discuss it. Is that kind of what happens here? I mean, maybe you could just clarify as to what the effect of having the overlay district placed on the whole buildings.
Right, so the overlay district just gives the properties here the ability to serve alcohol on site without having to serve food. Now, we would still be able to regulate the land use itself, so if the main use still required approval of an SUP or zoning amendment or something like that, that wouldn't change. Mm-hmm. It's only for the ability to serve alcohol.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Further questions? Go ahead.
So could we limit the alcohol to that suite through a special use permit?
No, that would require an amendment to, a separate amendment to the CZO.
And Brian, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but the current alcohol overlay boundary was drawn just across the street, right? So for that East Side Entertainment District, we have a current alcohol overlay, and basically the extent of that is the boundary is just across the street. So in some ways, this is,
yes,
while it is a separate alcohol overlay district, as you've clearly defined it here, in some ways it's merely extending that boundary across the street in a very similar land use pattern to the other buildings that are in that entertainment district, serving essentially the same purpose.
That's correct.
Yeah. I get it. So the warehouse building was platted by itself, and what we're doing is taking in that plat.
Correct. So those two
Plat for that warehouse building.
right.
Anyway.
So those two properties, you're correct, were platted separately. So they're both, like I said, they're both addressed as 4801 Spring Valley Road. So that's why the boundaries for encompasses both of those properties.
Okay, and everything in the big building behind it is a suite number 1, 2, A, B, C, or,
Correct.
okay.
Did you have in the presentation that would show the current overlay district and the new one together so we could see what they look like? Because we're talking about, I guess you're being contiguous. It'd be nice to see how it meshes up, how this now sits with what already exists. I don't remember seeing that.
I don't have that in the presentation, but I can pull up the overlay district here on the interactive map if you'll bear with me just a moment. So this purple boundary right here is the current entertainment overlay district. And then the applicant's property is right here. It's these two. So, yeah, like I noted in the staff report, it's located immediately north of the entertainment overlay district, but I hope that helps.
This is kind of piggybacking off Marcus's question. The application was for just Suite 108 and Suite 110, correct? But then this approval would be for the entirety of both of those buildings?
Right, no, so the original application was for the whole property, not just that particular suite. Because the way the way we did with the other two districts, it wasn't specific to one suite or part of a parcel. It was for an entire property.
Okay, I guess my question is, how many suites unrelated to the DFW indoor pickleball would we be approving this overlay for?
Let's see, so currently there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So there are currently 13 other suites aside from DFW pickleball in this building, and then another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then another 7 suites in this building down here.
And then I think the application mentioned the redevelopment of Suite 110 upon approval of this overlay. Has that redevelopment started, or is that in progress? I may have misread that.
No, there are no plans for redevelopment of Suite 110 right now that I'm aware of.
Okay.
So there's a checkbox over there for the alcoholic beverage overlay district, which is what we're really talking about here. We're not talking about entertainment overlay, right? We're talking about, so maybe uncheck the entertainment overlay so that we can see that part. Okay. And there.
Yes, so
Pretty
those
much
two, yeah. So as I noted in my staff report, we only have 2 on-premise overlay districts right now here for the boardwalk tract, and then 1 up here for the station area. Yeah, those are the only 2 we have existing right now.
So it's just, I mean, it seems, it's like either go big, like if we want to have the whole area to be able to have on-premise consumption, maybe make it bigger, make it, if that area is suitable for it. It just seems a little bit odd. We're singling out 2 buildings that are, it just seems somewhat random, as opposed to, again, looking for at a specific business. That would be one thing, but we're doing something larger than that, but we're stopping there and we're not You know what I mean? I'm just trying to get the sense of the logic.
I think it has more to do with historical. I mean, Farmers Branch was the last city in the county to sell beer and wine. In other words, we were a dry city up until 2014, 15, something like that.
And if it helps, you can think about it in terms of our beer and wine sales overlay districts. These are the districts that permit the selling of beer and wine for off-premise consumption, like think convenience stores and things like that, where we have multiple properties in the city where you can do that versus one big property like the entertainment overlay district. But those are, property specific. They're not limited to a specific suite. So if it helps, you can think about it from that perspective.
And just to clarify too, Brian, at least my understanding is the overlay district itself doesn't, do all the work sort of for any applicant. They still have to go through TABC and all of those
Correct.
requirements
Yes.
in terms of certifying all the sales for on-premise.
Correct. Yeah, this just gives them the ability to do that, but exactly like you said, they still have to go through the TABC process and get all the approvals, so, yeah, that's right.
But they don't have to come back through Farmers Branch. I mean, it's saying, so we are ceding our ability to, look at things as in the future for this whole two-building structure. Any one of those could be I suppose you could put a bar in there, right? I mean, if you have to go through TABC or whatever. And I'm saying it could be, it just, in some sense to me, it almost should be bigger. Like is it too limited? I mean, do we, are we, but just to go one building at a time or two buildings, and then somebody else comes in with a building over here and somebody else with a building over there. I'm just trying to get a sense for the process of doing that.
Well, the city has more control. I mean, that's what it is. Everything has to come, if you want to get it rezoned, you got to come to the city.
But in this case, if we do the buildings, we're giving up that control for these buildings. Anybody could come into either one of these two buildings because they will be in a zone, you know what I'm saying? So it's larger than a single business. Those are my thoughts as I was going through this process.
Well, and that's why I asked the question about the special use permit. Like special use permit, you limit it to the term of the lease of the particular tenant as opposed to doing carte blanche, but this is zoning. This is
Right, so.
This is different, is what I'm trying to say.
Right. So, like I said, this just gives businesses the ability to serve alcohol, without having to serve food. Now, like I said, we'll still be able to regulate other land uses. So, if the main use still requires approval of an SUP or a zoning amendment or something like that, that's not going away. This is just giving businesses that fall within the district, if this gets approved, the ability to serve alcohol on site. Yeah, like I said, if this particular land use still requires approval of a specific use permit, like a private club or, something along those lines, that process won't go away.
I guess I think of it in terms of like our, new comprehensive plan and this entertainment district overlay. And the purpose and the reasoning behind that is we know that this east side development will redevelop, but will do so likely, as we're seeing, kind of parcel by parcel, bit by bit, as, different potential uses come in. So to my mind, it does fit in alignment with the anticipated development pattern that we think we'll see for a redeveloping area of this type with the older style warehouses, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how else could we do it? I mean, there's no residential near it. There's no.
Oh, I guess one way to do it would be business by business. I mean, in this case, it would be for the pickleball. They come and they're applying for it, and then you approve it so that they can have on premise. And then if somebody else in that building later wants to come and do something completely different, then they
Like
could
use it for a
come.
warehouse,
What's that?
like use it for a warehouse.
Well, I mean, it's really more like strip center. I mean, it's not really a warehouse. I mean, one of the buildings might. I mean, it's like it's a strip center, you know, U-shaped strip center in an office building. So that's for me is just, could you just do it just for the pickleball? I mean, just it makes sense. They want to have it. Does it need to be? Sam, you want to jump in?
Yes. Yeah, you do have the option to either apply it to the entire property holdings, and that's one of the reasons that we looked at the entire property holdings. The same individual owns both lots, so it provides anyone the option to be able to serve alcohol, on-premise alcohol. You can also do it lease space by lease space, but what I found in the past is that when you do it to a lease space and they expand, and we hope they do expand, they've got to come back and amend it again and again and again. So this kind of shortcuts that kind of reoccurring need to amend the overlay district. So that, so those are the two options, that you really have. And our approach was, let's take a look at it comprehensively with both these lots. They're owned by the same individual, and let's give that individual the option to attract these other types of users into that.
Okay. Now to the extreme then, suppose I wanted to come next door to the pickleball and open a topless bar. Can I do that?
They would either need a special permit or they wouldn't be allowed based on the zoning because they would be a sexually oriented business.
Okay, it's a different use.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And how much kind of agglomeration effect do you anticipate in that area in terms of similar? I mean, it would be a slow go, I would imagine.
I would think so. I mean, you tend to attract similar types of uses within a given area. So I don't see this thing just exploding and we've got bars and everything else. It's going to take a mix of different types of uses in order to keep each one in those lease spaces. So I can see this use being expanded, the pickleball lease space being expanded into an adjacent lease space that may be vacant. So I can see that happening, but I just don't see it exploding. There's plenty of other areas that are closer to major thoroughfares that provide them the traffic that they need to keep them afloat. So so this pickleball court is very kind of location oriented. You go there to play pickleball, and as part of that kind of recreation or league play, they partake in alcoholic beverages. Very similar to what you may find in an indoor soccer establishment, where they're there for a specific reason. They're not there to loiter. They're there to play and then they have a drink and
Bowling alley
go.
would be-
Correct. Exactly.
Thank you.
The entertainment district allows the sale of beer, correct?
Yes, it allows
Just-
bars.
My main question is why did we choose the alcoholic beverage overlay district and not the entertainment overlay district for this?
Well, as I pointed out in my staff report, this property is located immediately north of the entertainment overlay district, but it's outside of the boundaries. Because
Why
if it were located within the bounds, the applicant wouldn't even need to go through this process.
But my question is why did we choose the alcoholic beverage overlay instead of just doing another entertainment district overlay? Or expanding the current?
So you're suggesting to amend the current entertainment district overlay?
Boundary or do a second one? Like, I'm just confused as how we chose alcoholic beverage when we have another solution that seems almost identical for accomplishing what the request is.
And I mean, that's something that we can look into if the commission is interested in expanding the entertainment overlay district boundaries. That's a possibility. So at the time when this was first established, those boundaries were chosen with the understanding that, we could always expand in the future if we want to, but, once something's put in place, you can't take it back. So if that makes sense.
What other benefits potentially or downsides come with the entertainment district overlay as compared to a specific on-premise alcohol beverage overlay district? in terms of what rights are afforded to the entertainment district specifically?
So like I said, it allows bars, tap rooms, wineries, tasting rooms, all of those alcohol-related uses are permitted by right within that district.
That's for the entertainment overlay as opposed to the alcoholic beverage overlay?
Well, that's correct. Well, yes, that's correct.
Okay.
So you're saying this, by doing the alcoholic beverage overlay, it's more restrictive as to what we're allowing, rather than giving the entertainment district, which is more expansive of what the rights would be?
I mean, I guess you could look at it from that perspective. I mean, yes, in a way, it's more restrictive in the uses that are permitted by right, but in a way, it's expanding, the property, it would be expanding the property rights for the property by allowing for the alcohol sales by right. So I guess it just depends on how you look at it.
Yeah, I guess, and putting you on the spot here, and I'm sorry we're doing that, but it's getting down to the sort of the sense of getting clarity what the difference is between the one type, the alcoholic beverage overlay district, and an entertainment district. Like, how are they different? How are they the same? Is that something we may need to do some more research on or something? But I'm not clear what the differences are by right. What differences are, what the rights are differently between the two?
Right, so the Entertainment Overlay District was a city-initiated initiative, so any amendments to the boundaries of that would have to be a city-initiated zoning amendment versus the Alcoholic Beverage on-premise Overlay District is more developer-driven, if you will.
That clarification helps a lot, Brian.
No, okay, good.
Any further questions for Safia?
Last one would be, do we have a list of approved uses for PD 27? Like, what isn't included in PD 27, I guess, is, are bars allowed by right? I'd be interested in that.
So, Plan Development District number 27 has a base zoning of light industrial. I can pull up the comprehensive zoning ordinance real fast. I'm not sure of all of the uses and what they are off the top of my head, but I can pull that up if you'll bear with me just a moment. Okay, so it looks like currently brew pubs are permitted by right. Let me see. Private clubs require approval of a specific use permit. Indoor commercial amusement is allowed by right.
So which column are you looking at? I'm
It's
sorry.
the next to the last.
It's the second to last column. It's this one right here.
Thank you.
And then as you'll see with bars and taverns, it has to fall within either the Entertainment Overlay District or the Alcoholic Beverage on-premise Overlay District.
Yeah, to me, the biggest difference in those overlay districts is that the entertainment district allows off-premise sale of alcohol, as opposed to the alcohol overlay district, which only allows on-premise. So to me, that's the biggest difference.
All right.
Did that help answer your question?
Further questions for staff? And I believe the applicant is here. Will they have a presentation during the regular session?
Not to my knowledge, no, but they will be here to answer questions.
Great, thank you.
Sure.
Any further questions for staff in our study session? All right, thank you again, Brian.
Thank you.
All right, and that takes us back to item A2, discuss agenda items for future Planning and Zoning Commission consideration. Commissioners?
I've got two.
Okay.
One of them is just kind of an update if we're going to receive any training or information on the laws that were recently passed in the last legislative session that, may potentially affect development at Farmers Branch. And then the second one is I noticed that there is a housing policy topic coming up, or a presentation coming up for City Council. I was wondering if we could get any information on that as far as what direction they're looking for, what kind of specifics they'd be interested in.
Thank you for that. Anything further?
I might just suggest something related to this one tonight. I mean, just the sense of what is the vision for how you will go forward with creating these new districts, or these new, is this going to be on a building by building kind of thing where, or does it make some sense to look again at more of an overlay, a larger something city driven, or some sense? Otherwise, it just seems a little bit haphazard, to me.
So I guess what I'm hearing you say, or just to clarify, is maybe some exploration of the potential for expanding or
Be
that entertainment.
expanding, yeah. Or developing what the rules are. I mean, what do we really want? If we're going to do it on a case by case, and it's going to be for the two buildings, what is it that we're supposed to be judging it on? Is it just because it's in East Farmers Branch and it's commercial, it's okay? You know what I mean? So just kind of go through it a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. All right. Well, with that takes us to the end of our study session, I believe. It is presently 6:57 p.m. We'll reconvene right about at 7 if folks are amenable to that. Does anybody need a longer break? No? Okay, right at 7. Thank you all. Good evening and welcome to the City of Farmers Branch Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. It is presently 7 p.m., Monday, August 11th, 2025. I'd like to begin this evening by thanking the commissioners for their service. Next on our agenda is the citizen comments. This agenda item provides an opportunity for citizens to address the Planning and Zoning Commission on any matter that is not posted on the agenda. Anyone wishing to address the commission should complete a citizen's comments registration form and submit it to the chair prior to the start of the meeting. There is a 3-minute time limit for each citizen to speak, with a reasonable limitation on speakers on one topic or item, with a maximum of 15 total minutes on the same topic item. Anyone wishing to speak shall be courteous and cordial. The Planning and Zoning Commission is not permitted to take action on any subject raised by a speaker during citizen comments. When called, please approach the podium and state your name and address prior to beginning your comment, and please direct all comments to the commission and not to the audience. And this evening we have no one signed up for citizen comments, so we'll move to our regular agenda items. Item C1, consider approval of the July 7th, 2025 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting minutes and take appropriate action. Commissioners?
I would move we approve the minutes as presented.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Any further discussion on the item? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor to approve the minutes as presented? All right, thank you all. Next on our agenda is a public hearing. Item D1, conduct a public hearing and consider the request to amend Article 5 Special Districts in the Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance by amending Article 5.6 Alcohol Beverage On-Premise Overlay Districts to add the Spring Valley Alcohol Beverage On-Premise Overlay District, an approximately 7.96 acre property located at 4801 Spring Valley Road and located within the PD 27 zoning district, and take appropriate action. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Commissioners. Good evening. Brian Campbell, planner with the Planning Department, here to present to you the only case we have on the docket tonight, which is case number 25ZA08 for 4801 Spring Valley Road. So as I said, this property is located at 4801 Spring Valley Road in a zoned plan development district number 27. With this request, this is a zoning amendment request, and the applicant is requesting to add the subject property to the alcoholic beverage on-premise overlay district. So in the staff report, I did provide some background as to how these districts came to be, which I'll just quickly summarize here. So the alcoholic beverage on-premise overlay district was established as Article 5.6 in the Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance via Ordinance 3446 in 2017. Currently, we have 2 such districts in the city located within the station area and the boardwalk area. This overlay district permits the selling of alcoholic beverages on premises by right without having to be a qualifying restaurant as provided for in Article 2.6 of the CZO. And just for some clarification for everybody here in the room and for those who might be watching at home, a qualifying restaurant is one that serves both food and alcohol, with the qualifying part being that at least 50% of the gross sales come from food. So establishments in this overlay district are subject to the requirements of Article 5.6 and all applicable state law, including the Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission. And so, like I said, the applicant is seeking to add the subject property to this overlay district to benefit his business, which is DFW Indoor Pickleball. So turning to the recommendations of the Farmers Branch 2045 plan. So the Farmers Branch 2045 plan designates the subject property and the surrounding area as mixed use. So with this designation, the plan recommends a healthy mix of land uses in order to provide both economic vitality and livability for citizens that might be living within the residential parts of this area in the future. And so with this designation, the recommended land uses are medium to high density residential, office, commercial, light industry and small manufacturing, and civic parks and open space. And so given that DFW Indoor Pickleball is consistent with the other retail and commercial uses adjacent to it, as well as the potential for this area to have additional economic vitality through the sales of alcohol, the proposal is consistent with the Farmers Branch 2045 plan. And as mentioned in the staff report, this property is located immediately north of the Entertainment Overlay District, which was another special district established by the city to provide additional opportunities for entertainment-oriented uses within the city, to establish both the east side and the City of Farmers Branch as a destination location. And so this zoning amendment also helps to further that goal. So on July 30th, 2025, we did mail 24 letters to all affected property owners within 300 feet of the subject property, as well as to both the Carrollton Farmers Branch and Dallas ISDs, and a zoning notification sign was placed on the property that same day. As of this evening, we have not received any correspondence regarding this case. So that concludes my presentation. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those. We also have the applicant here as well to answer any questions you might have. And otherwise, I thank you for your time this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Questions for staff first?
Yes, I guess so. The thing that I'm still struggling with a little bit is we have two ABOPs now, and those are very clearly the station area and the boardwalk. Those are two areas physically kind of, significant. They have a size that these are the types of businesses that you expect to be in that area. So now we're going to have a third one. It's going to be completely different. It's going to be an office building. It's going to be a strip center that's not really intended to grow into that kind of a district. It's just that there happens to be a pickleball company, a pickleball facility in the corner of it. But we're saying, let's go ahead and make the whole building a district equal to the station area and the boardwalk. So this one just doesn't seem in my mind to match at least the intent of that. And if you could go back 2 slides on this, I just want to point out, right here. So at the bottom, we're not really, it's not a subject, we're not doing it for DFW indoor pickleball, right? They won't be mentioned. It's not really mentioned. It's these buildings, not the specific business, right? The business happens to be in the buildings, but we're not putting the ABOP for the pickleball. We're doing it for 2801 Spring Valley. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. See, that's just where I've been struggling with it a little bit. It just seems a little bit different. And that's all. Yeah.
Go ahead, Harold.
Brian, just for clarification, if it's sometime in the future, the pickleball went away, current owner had an opportunity to sell the property for a different use, he'd just come back to us and say, I have an opportunity to sell it for a different use. Can we change the zoning? And we'd probably do it, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Could happen.
Further questions for staff? Okay. Do we have questions for the applicant? Any?
Sure. The applicant could
Yep.
come forward.
As you come forward, just please state your name and address for the record.
Jonathan Tran for 4801 Spring Valley Road.
So I guess, so are you the business, the pickleball owner, the building owner, or both?
I'm just the pickleball owner. We lease from
Okay,
another
and so
owner.
you're really the ones that want this to happen.
Yes, sir.
And are you, so that the way it sort of has come down to being larger than you, that's just, you don't really care as long as you get approval to serve on premise.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right.
I think it just made sense just because of like I said, just the owner owns both those buildings. So I think.
Right, but does the owner have any intent to develop the rest of those buildings for on-premise alcohol?
He doesn't want that, truthfully, sir.
Okay.
I mean, he wants to control, he said he would control it by the leases. So like he was restricted to us because that was his main concern. I think he talked to y'all's planning and zoning committee to make sure that he could control, like, if someone leased, they can come to you and say, I can want to serve. And it's not, if he can control it by his lease, he wants to keep us really the only ones serving that.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Other questions for the applicant? Go ahead, Scott.
I guess this is just kind of like, what if you've got this as set up so that it is alcohol to serve the patrons of, is this actually a private club type of thing, or is it open, is the pickleball thing open to everybody?
We have membership and walk-in, sir, so you could come in and play now, or you can have a membership and come, but it's not, we're open to both.
Okay, because I'm just playing devil's advocate here. What keeps somebody from, as they're driving by, they come to figure out, oh, you can get alcohol here, and so they just drop in, come in, buy a drink, go out. Now you've got somebody who may have gotten a couple drinks out, and they didn't go in for the purpose of pickleball or anything. They went in to go grab a couple drinks, and you start getting alcohol traffic that's exclusively alcohol traffic there, when literally, okay, you thought you were going to have 9 pickleball courts and that was going to be the main thing. Now you've got your main revenue and main traffic is going in and out, people getting drinks. And that's, I'd expect going in and out and getting drinks, something that you get down on Harry Hines or some other place in Dallas. So now you've got something else that's your primary.
Yeah, well, if you look at the layout of our building, our whole facility is pretty much courts, which is sitting waiting area. We don't really have it wouldn't be, in my opinion, wouldn't be a straight bar type atmosphere, sir. I mean, you can go down, Odd Muse is right down the street, truthfully. I mean, they're a brewery. I would assume they would go there over ours, but we would train our staff and we have our alcohol awareness program to make sure, truthfully, we have a BYOB currently at our facility, and we try to provide alcohol to patrons, but no one really drinks it. They just want to play pickleball, but it's just an option. We're looking to maybe just have a little bit more revenue. As you can see, like around everywhere, these pickleball businesses are blowing up everywhere, and we're making it. We're just trying to basically get a little bit more to hopefully, survive our business in your city limits, sir.
Okay.
Further questions for our applicant? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
A reminder, this is a public hearing. Do we need to have any more discussion?
I would make a motion to close the public hearing.
Thank you.
Second.
Any further discussion on the item? Seeing none, we'll vote to close the public hearing. All those in favor? All right, and with that, our public hearing is closed. Now we can hear action on the item.
I would move that we accept the item as presented.
So a recommendation for approval, I heard,
I'll second that.
and seconded. Any further discussion on the item? All right, seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor to recommend approval? All right, and that carries, and this goes to City Council
On September 19th.
on September 19th. Thank you all. And with that, that is our one and only item on our docket, as Brian indicated. So we will adjourn at 7:13 p.m. Thank you all.
Thank you.